All right, so I'm live here. I'm live here, and I'm live here. All right, Islam, 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 Ism. I am Sister Tahita S. Najiola L of CalifaMedia.com, mrcicharities.org and com, riseofthemoors.org and com, and most recently, certifiedmoorish.org and com. Islam. I'm just recording this so I can lay this down so I can get it out of my head. Hopefully, Morris will be able to enjoy this later. I'm just going to go ahead and get started. So, I usually come on lives on Instagram on Friday evening at 6 p.m. to give Morris news and updates about what's going on with Moors, right? And last week, I wanted to also cover the recent Moorish Meetup in Newark and NYC, but time got away from me and I was not able to do that. And I am recording in 3 places today, so I'm trying to see if I can save some time, work smarter, not harder. So I'm on YouTube Live, Islam to y'all, Instagram Live, it's Islam to y'all, and for the first time ever, what is this? TikTok Live. All right, and yeah, I decided to come on. I've never done this TikTok Live before, and I just decided to come on to just address a couple of things real quick, like super quick, before I get into the recap of the Moorish Meetup. So this past Friday, I did my thing, right, and just updated the Moors on what I got going on and what I saw going on that might interest Moors. And I take clips from that and I share them out to people. So this week it came up in the news. What came up was the Muskogee Nation of whatever's, right. Their Supreme Court ruled in favor of the freedmen of their tribe, the ex-slaves of their tribe. Moors know what happened, right? How everybody came over here and everybody's trying to switch places with us. So their slaves, we know, we became their slaves. Our slaves, we became the slaves of our slaves. So they switched places with us, all right? Because, but anyway, so I was putting up clips like basically saying that this federally recognized nation fraud, right? How you gonna be a nation if you gotta rely on somebody else to be recognized like that? You should just be a collective of nations. You ain't gotta be recognized necessarily as long as your people are cooperate. Like who is that? Palestine. It's not a recognized nation, but is it a nation? All right. They're not, because I'm like this federal recognition. I'll get into that in a minute. Anyway, so I put up that the who is that? The Creek Freedmen are so happy because they got their crumbs and the whole bakery is theirs, right? And I went into it how these Native American, if you look it up in a dictionary, an actual, because I don't run my mouth like most people. I'm not a Google scholar like most people. If you look it up in an actual law dictionary, all right? So how close that was to me, right? Native means you were born here. Indigenous means you are of this land. You can be native and indigenous, but you do not have to be indigenous to be native, right? Which might explain why it was funny. I put it up there that the Creek Freedmen were basically doing these. I don't know what these people are. Somebody called them Siberians, and the Chinese been claimed these folks, right? And then you got the $5 Indians. So I just put up like y'all doing them a favor because you're restoring the legitimacy of this, whatever this thing is, because I can't even respect it as a nation because its existence is dependent on another nation that's not even a real nation. It's a restructured form of the Virginia Company. Do your history. They just changed the name of the Virginia Company to the United States of America. I have a degree in history, all right? So, and I love to read. I would have had, whatever. I ain't gonna go into that. So anyway, I just found it interesting how I was just like, yeah, I'm talking to my people. For the record, and this is for TikTok, for the record, I'm not talking to y'all unless I'm like Caucasians. Unless I specifically say you, I am not talking about you. You're not even registering in my reality. You're not. You're a non-issue. You really are. Because I got more important things, more that I love to focus on. And you are definitely not on that list. So when I'm talking to my people and I say, oh, these freed men who are actually Moors, actually provided legitimacy to this federally recognized fraud called the Nation of the Muskogee. And then there are groups of tribes, right? Every time they want to do something, they got to go ask, what's his name? Uncle Sam. I just do stuff. I don't ask them for permission. I just do stuff, right? So nothing criminal, but it's not like, okay, if you wanted to set up a casino, why didn't you just set up a casino? Why did you have to get permission if you're an independent nation? Why do you need permission from if this is your land? Too many questions. But anyway, and I brought up how they only let the freedmen in because it came up that the 14th Amendment also calls into question what to do with these Siberians. I don't know what to call y'all, right? All of y'all don't have, I don't know what you all are. It's funny. Black people didn't know what they were. And everybody knew what they were. And now it's reversing. I know I'm a Moor. Who are you? Where are you going to go back to, right? Because I know if I was your people, I wouldn't want you back. Look how you acted over here. I wouldn't dare let you in. But anyway, I keep getting off the point. So I brought up that this whole 14th Amendment debate is calling into question whether or not the federally recognized tribes can also be deported, which makes sense. If I give you your existence, I can remove your existence. You're federally recognized, which means you can be the reverse. And who's that? It was the Menominee, and there was another group. There's been tribes that have lost their federal recognition. You should look that up. I should mention I studied for a year and a half in Nebraska, and part of the University of Nebraska Lincoln, when I was there, part of the requirement, like everybody had to take it, was health, right? And the other one was Native American studies. You had to learn about the Native Americans, right? And it was just crazy how Caucasian was teaching the class. He had been adopted into some tribe. I'm like, oh, some $5 Indians let an actual admitted Caucasian up in there. Whoop-de-doo. I guess I'm supposed to be impressed. He really was interested in talking to me. But anyway, we had some great conversations. It was crazy how this is your land. And I get that they're doing stuff by force. But now that we're in the era of they can't get away with that without some major pushback, why aren't you trying to get your stuff back? Right? The Moors are definitely trying to get their stuff back. You can see us active daily. It's not hard to find. I just see y'all sitting around getting, you natives sitting around getting fat and drunk. I lived in Arizona. I lived in Nebraska. Right? I live in Indiana right now. And it's just like, I'm not impressed. Y'all don't act like this is yours. You really don't. Right? You act like a bunch of squatters, for real. And I'm banging on them because they were telling me they can't deport us, blah, 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 yada, 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 yada. I'm just sitting there like, why do you care? Why is it bothering you if it doesn't affect you? I'll give the example of if I'm at a party and the cops bust in, right? And they say, all you niggas on the ground. I'm not going to flinch because what they got to do with me? If it don't have nothing to do with you, if it don't apply, let it fly, keep it moving. But they were hot and very, very bothered, right? Talking about we next. Like, why do y'all keep saying that, right? And I told them, if they could have gotten rid of us, they would have done it by now. Well, they could have gotten rid of us too. They did get rid of you. They locked you off on some reservations. You have reservations. You have a portion of something that's yours, and you're not trying to get the whole thing back. You're not trying to get off of these reservations. What's going on? You acting like this ain't your stuff. I'm talking to the Native Americans, American Indians, which makes me wonder, so what, if you're American Indians, what does that make the people from India that come over here? You might want to start looking into like where you really come from. I would start with like China, Philippines, all those places, because y'all, wow. And you could tell it's not theirs. You could tell the country ain't theirs because, like I said, they ain't trying to get it back. Anyway, so that's that. I just had to cover that because it's funny how many American Indian natives are never indigenous. Never indigenous. How much they coming at me because they don't like that I said, hey, they're trying to question whether or not they can get rid of you. I'm just reporting on it. You're acting like fussing at me is going to fix your issue. Your energy would be better spent going and working on that. Because this what a great opportunity to make sure folks know this is your stuff. Anyway, meanwhile, there's us. and what we about to do. Oh, well, we don't see what you're doing. That's on purpose. Anyway, so to the recap, how long am I in here? I have no idea. Oh, 10 minutes. Cool. So there's my 10 minute spiel. Real quick announcement. This upcoming Saturday afternoon, if you're not doing something, right, you are cordially invited, both Mars and Muslims, to attend the Moorish Hall of Learning Moorish Film Studies session. We're going to be watching films and eventually reading books and coming together. It's another form of a meetup, right? Reading films and coming together. And before I continue, thank you all who are here. Appreciate that. And we're going to be bouncing ideas off of each other and re-examining things we've already looked at through our now Moorish eyes to see if, like, okay, I know I saw this movie when I was like 15, 16. Now that I've been in the Moorish movie for a couple of years, what does it look like now? It's going to look completely different. You're going to see all kinds of stuff jumping out. It's crazy. But so it was supposed to be Waterworld, but I must have remembered this movie differently. I must have been thinking about something else because I actually rented it and watched it. That movie was awful. It was awful. It's like, first of all, it didn't have anything to do with like why they couldn't go anywhere. It's just the world was flooded. So, oh, my fault. I thought it was about something else. And then the movie was just bad. It was just like really bad. I don't recommend it. Anyway, so thank goodness I watched it in enough time to tell the more. Scratch that update. We will be watching instead, or you will be watching on your own instead, and joining us this Saturday on Zoom at 11 p.m. Mountain, 2 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Central. We'll be talking about episode 4, season 1, the episode called Code of Honor on the show Star Trek The Next Generation. Let me say that again. So it's Star Trek The Next Generation, season 1, episode 4. The episode is entitled Code of Honor. I just watched it, right? So I had my notebook ready to take notes on Waterworld. And I'm like, man, woman, child. That's all I can see that I can share. All right. Okay, let me watch this episode of Star Trek The Next Generation. Before they even got to the credits, I was already writing. You know how they show like the pre-credit, little pre-scene credits, and then you get to watch the show? The pre-scene, I'm a spoiler. They greeted these people, the people that were representing the Moors, like this. Can you see it? This is how they greeted each other. Yeah. That was all right. And then get past the credits, and I posted that on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok, where they basically said, yeah, y'all, you bear striking resemblance to a greatly admired culture from planet Earth. Okay. So yeah, I have I took notes. So that'll be there. And you can get to the link and all the information about it at califamedia.com. It's right there at the top. Califa, Califa, like California, califamedia.com. It's right there. Okay. All right. So that's the announcement. Now to go ahead and oh, yep. This is why I never do live on YouTube. It's saying my connection is messed up. I hope it'll still record. But anyway, excuse me. So this almost 2 weeks ago. Wow, time is flying. So this past July 25th and 26th, Moors had another meetup in Newark and New Jersey, where we were retracing the steps of the noble prophet Drew Ali. Went to quite a few spots, right? So I'm gonna just go get through this because they're doing landscaping today. So our first stop on the 25th, right? Because I drove all the way there because it was a weird situation. All the flights said all you can bring is your purse and whatever you got on your back. Everything else you're gonna have to pay for. So I drove, right? And so it's like road trip. If you're from the Midwest, it's like, well, how long is it? Oh, it's not 18 hours. I'll just drive, right? It was 13 hours. I did not do 13 hours straight. It was over 2 days, and it was a great, relaxing vacation. And so get to Newark, and then trying to figure out how to get to New York from Newark. That was fun. That was a lot of fun. It reminded me a lot of Chicago, how you get around from the suburbs in Chicago to Chicago. And we made it to the Shamberg, what is that? The Shamberg Research Center, which is so cool. The train dropped us off right across the street from it. I'm just like, I'm just terrified. Like, I've never been to New York. I had 2 children with me. This is not, I don't know. At least I got some people that know I'm here, but I don't know. I'm getting like the kind of mother fear type of thing, mother paranoia, where it's like, I'm about to die. I shouldn't have done this. This is so reckless. Oh, look, there's the place we're going right across the street. I don't have to look for anything. So that was great. And we walking up there, and as we're walking past, they got like displays in the windows or whatever. And one of the displays, the one right when you walk in the door, was a picture of a brother like this. And he had on like the linen. It was a picture of a carved marble bust. And it was a brother. And he had like this white cloth wrapped around him. He's looking at this other piece of cloth. I'm like, oh, it's Othello. It's Othello. Of course, we're having a Moorish meetup, trying to meet at this museum. And what's in the window right at the door? A Moor. I love it. So we went up in there. That was just to meet up with everybody. It was great. We were supposed to have a tour of the place. And they say we need 2 weeks advance notice. I contacted them a month and a half in advance. No response. Contacted them a month in advance. No response. 3 weeks in advance. No response. I'm like, you know what? I don't have time for this. Get back 2 days after I get back from this event. Oh, sorry, we missed your thing, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Yeah, this is reminding me a lot of Chicago. How people like want jobs, but don't actually want to do the job. You know, just because it's a volunteer spot, you shouldn't have volunteered if you didn't want to do it. That kind of thing. But it worked out great because they didn't, I guess they're understaffed. They don't have enough volunteers. So one of the Moors we showed up with signed up to be a volunteer. How cool is that? So now they got extra hands. And what can those extra hands do while they're there? Those extra hands can be shown those private collections. I actually was trying to like, let me scope the place out. So when I come back, I know where to ask to go specifically. Now I just got to ask him because now they got some help. And now Moore's basically got a man on the inside. And supposedly the reason we picked this center is because Noble Drew Ali's successor, Emily L. He got everything, the princely garb, right? The sash, everything, the Prophet's fez, the chair, he got it all. And then his wife supposedly gave it all to or sold it all to the Shamberg. And now we got a man inside, right? So it's like, I guess it kind of worked out that they didn't have anybody to show us around because somebody felt the need to volunteer because they didn't have enough staff. And now we got a man on the inside. So I know I'll be going back because I was tripping at the energy. I see why people like New York. I really do, right? Because I'd always heard I'm from Chicago. I'd always heard New York is like, it's Chicago that smells like pee. I'm just like, nah, this place was way cooler. It was just like, I don't know. It was more confident. I think that's what I got. The people were a little pushier, less tolerant. Not like mean. It's just like, I'm not going to bother you. You're not going to bother me. We're going to be all right. Right? I can look at you. I'm not going to stare. I can just look at you and look away. This is the impression I got. I know I could be totally wrong because this was just walking down the street. But Chicago, it's just like, okay, I was doing like this, like, hi. Maybe because I was with the group more. Just looking at people because I'm here. I'm just like looking at everything. Chicago, you could go like this. What you want? It's a fight. Fight on. So I was impressed. You know, they were very well behaved, very friendly. I was shocked. Right. So anyway, from the Shamberg, we started walking. Once enough Moors gathered, we waited for everybody to congregate there, and we started walking towards the Malcolm Shebass market. That was extremely disappointing. Right. So we get there, and I'm like, okay, Malcolm Shebass market, it should have like something representing his people. No, it was gentrified. It was a whole bunch of Africans. It was all Africans. I don't even think it was any Caribbeans up in there, right? It was like, I saw Kenya, Ghana. I think I saw Namibia, right? It was just all Africans. And it was the Malcolm Shebass market. I'm like this, and I was like, I'm out. I'm not supporting this, right? How y'all don't come over here and build stuff. You settle. Everybody does it. I'm saying everybody does it. They don't come over here and build nothing. They just see what we up to and just, slither their way into it and assume it. What does Malcolm Shebass, right? Or not Malcolm. Why do I keep saying Malcolm? Malcolm X. What it's called, the Malcolm Shebass. I guess that's what he would be called. His given name was Malcolm, and he chose his last name to be Shebass. So Malcolm Shebass. What does he have to do with y'all? He wasn't fighting for y'all, right? He was fighting to unify with y'all. And it was another example of, well, we'll wait to see how it turn out for you, and then we'll talk. Y'all, they never helped this man. They didn't help him, right? But they using his name to make money. They didn't make money off me that day. I think I bought my children some fans because it was burning up. And I already covered that. How that was the hottest day of this year in New York. And it was so humid. And we found that out because after we left the Shebass market, we started walking towards Seneca Village, right? I'd never been here before. I was not aware that this was about to be a 30-minute walk. As soon as I found out, I'm like, nope, change of plans. That's not going to happen. It was so hot out there. It was humid too. It was ridiculous. So we like, okay, we halfway through this park. We need to stop. It was messed up. And we need to stop and rest and get our bearings and cool down for a bit. Oh, look, there's a cave. So some more. I just found it kind of funny and ironic that the Moors had to go hide out in the cave. Right? It's like, nah, this is not how we get down. This is for some other folks. But we're going to take advantage of it because it's burning. It's ridiculously hot out here. Right? So, yeah. And from there, we like, okay, let's just go eat. And we drug ourselves to the nearest Ethiopian restaurant and waited for about 30 minutes. He brought us water, but nobody ever came to take our order. It had to be like 15, 20 people up in there, and you didn't come take our order. So thank you for letting us cool off. We lifted our bodies away from there and walked across the street to somewhere called Melba's, right? And I'm like, oh, it's Southern, it's soul food. It should be straight. And I should have known better, right? Tip to those who don't know. If you like vegan or vegetarian food, go to a restaurant that's what they do, vegan or vegetarian, with standard as options, not standard with vegan and vegetarian options, okay? So I had the mac and cheese and the sweet potatoes and something they call the mushroom pot pie. I'm about to rag on y'all because you should be ashamed of yourself. So this was Mavis's restaurant in Harlem, New York. So I can only speak as far as what I had. The sweet potatoes, banging. The mac and cheese, delicious. That pot pie. This thing, I'm like, oh, it's a pot pie. Okay. So it says it's a pot pie. I know that's usually like a crust and a top. Okay. With chopped mushrooms, spinach, and sweet potatoes, sauteed gently and combined in a vegan gravy and served in a crust. Oh, that sounds delicious and delightful. I'll have that. They brought me a biscuit. Right? With the top taken off of it. It was one of those flaky biscuits with the top taken off of it, with a scoop of whatever, I guess it was mushrooms, spinach, and sweet potatoes. And I took a bite, and I'm like, wow. You know how usually it's like it's expensive, I'm gonna eat it out of spite? Nope, that mug went right in the garbage. It tasted like, people are like, oh, it tastes earthy. That means it tastes like dirt. It tasted very like, okay, yeah, this is definitely mushrooms that you didn't wash first. I can taste it. Did you wash the spinach? It was messed up. All right. And no gravy at all. It was a pile of dry, sauteed mushrooms, spinach, and sweet potatoes on a biscuit. I don't know how everything else was. Everybody said the other stuff was good, but yeah, if you go there, don't eat that stuff. It was terrible. It was horrible. I wish I should have asked for my money back. But anyway, yeah. So that was that. All right. So that's day one. Day two. And then I'm going to wrap this up so I can get this off my mind because it just keeps bothering me. Day two. You want to wait? Somebody said they trying to purchase your 508 toolkit. Help. What? A servant is worthy of their hire. And the more I talk about this stuff, the more I'm like, man, I think I might need to raise my prices because this is you know how it's the more you listen to yourself, especially because I record my conversations. so I can listen back at them. And I'm just like, oh no, this is consulting. This ain't even coaching. This is straight consulting, because people are taking what I'm providing and actually generating revenue with it, right? So this thing is 150, right? And I'm looking at some of these, I don't know why they're coming across my feed, LLC packages where they tell me, oh, we'll just give you the paperwork that includes none of this tax exemption and none of these religious or nationality protections. We want 900. This is 150. All right. So the only help I can suggest, if you need a gig, ICE is hiring. All right. And that's why I'm on TikTok too, because I think I found my niche. My people seem to like me banging on all other people. I'm just saying what's bothering me. I vent a lot, and I appreciate y'all appreciating that, right? Because this stuff ain't fair. Somebody needs to say it. Everybody needs to be checked. Everybody. You're not from here. You know you're not from here. You ain't from here either. Prove it. Prove it. Let's set a clock and see. Let's have a race. Let's see who can prove who's from where first. Do you even want to do this? Because you know I'm going to win. You know I'll win. You know I'll win. All right. I'll tell you where I'm from. All right. You can check Sunflower County, Mississippi. That's where my people hail from. My mother was born in Drew, Mississippi. Please don't mess with me. Or mess with me. All right. Go ahead. So anyway, day 2 of the Moorish Meetup. We were in Newark. I love that the prophet picked Newark. All that stuff that was going on in Harlem in the 20s, and you're across the river. On a college campus. I don't think the campus was right there at that time. You know how campuses spread out, because the architecture there looks kind of recent. So it's like, well, no, you were near a college campus, because Rutgers, it's by Rutgers University, and I think that's been there since the 1700s, that kind of thing. So anyway, we made our way to 181 Warren Street, which was Dixons Barber shop, and that's where the prophet first set up shop as Professor Drew, right? And he started teaching the Moors about themselves. And we get there 112 years later, and there's the Bloom Event Center on top of it. This place is huge, right? And right where the temple was, they had just these 2 doors. There were some doors over there down the way on the same side of the building, but it was just these 2 that were just right there. And I posted all over the place about it. You turn around from those doors, and there's a road that's like, if you kept driving, if you were drunk, that's why I was like, this is weird they have this here. If you were drunk, this is a road coming from Frat House Road. Bunch of frat houses. So what are the chances somebody might be drunk over here, right? Yep, I knew it. I think my live just froze on YouTube. Let me go and wrap this up, because this thing, man, let me go and wrap this up. So anyway, if you were drunk and you came down this Greek way, that's the name of the road, and you kept going, you would go right through these doors, right? Or if, you doing something late at night, your initiates can quietly make their way straight into those doors for whatever reason. I put up some videos about it. It was crazy. Moors came across a bunch of stuff. Like, why do they have a sand pit right at the beginning of their Greek way? It was a thing. And then we went back. It was me and the brother who volunteered he's going to volunteer at the Shamberg Center. It was just me and him. And then we moved on to the Hall of Records and met up with the other Moors. And thank goodness, went back to Warren Street, and we just saw all this other stuff. You know how you got more eyes on it? A bunch of stuff we didn't see when it was just me and him there. Like, why is it the address starts at 23? When you enter, it starts at 23. And when you exit, the address is number 5. And it's all even odd numbers. So it goes 23, 21, 19, 17, 15, 11, 9. What did I just skip? Why is 13 empty? And the brothers were talking to some young ladies there, and they're like, oh, number 13 is empty because the frat couldn't afford to pay to stay. What frats do you know where the alumni would allow something like that embarrassing to happen? We can't pay the rent. You think why are you even in a frat? It's so you can network and get high paying jobs. And you're going to let you as an alumni are going to let your frat, these are not named, it was like Phi Beta Kappa, Delta, Delta, Sigma, Sigma. I don't know. It was like the famous ones for Caucasians, right? And just 13 was empty. And then you looking at the buildings, they all look like, it felt like we were on a movie set. Like they were facades. Like, yeah, they look like buildings, but they don't look like somebody would actually be in there. They look like fronts. It was crazy, right? Very, very interesting, right? We spent a lot of time there. It was crazy. Yeah, I think that was it. And I forgot we went to Mr. Falafel for lunch that day. That was delicious. Mr. Falafel made some good falafel. I recommend them. But other than that, I've done my duty. I fulfilled my thing, and now I can stop thinking about it. It's not bugging me no more. And I got to, twofer. Got to take care of this TikTok thing. And just as an FYI, TikTokers, I'm like new to this thing, so be patient with me. CalifaMedia.com is a Moorish cultural shop. We got books. We got merch like, I should have brought it with me. Shame on me. I should have run upstairs and get it. Anyway, I can show you my stickers like those. This is from Key 27. Can you give in brief the name, line, genealogy of the fathers of Jesus Christ, right? So that's for the boys. And then for the girls, I have a turban set. How cute. So it's the different colored turbans, right? And yes, these are printed and ready to go. You can order them on CalifaMedia.com/storefront, and they will be in the TikTok shop eventually. I've been working on it. So that's for the little ladies, because our children need to see that we're doing more than just like arguing with folks and playing on online. So we actually meet up in person. My children had a blast with the children of the other people that showed up. All right. I got pictures. I mean, to be able to point to them. So all the adults over here in their little clumps talking about whatever, and the children ain't sitting there bored. They over there playing around, trying to pick each other up. It was great. It was great. And they felt normal. They didn't have to explain nothing to nobody because they were all Moors. So yeah, CalifaMedia.com. Hit us up. If you want to set up a business, certifiedmoorish.org. I'm trying to do something for our people. I don't part-time this. This is what I do, right? Because somebody got to do it. So I'm not impoverished, but I could be doing better. So I'm reaching out to my people to please do like other people and be a patron, not just to me, to any more who is sacrificing comfort so that we can have something better for our future. All right. Not even necessarily ourselves. I'm not thinking about myself. I want to be be able to lay back and see all these babies free, not having to be worried about, that the cops behind us. My daughter has no idea what that means. I explained it to her this morning. She's just looking at me like, huh? Yeah, I guess that's what happens. We don't like have to deal with the shame of calling yourself Black or some caste or something somebody gave you. All right. And with that, thank you, Moors. That's 32 minutes. I'm done. I got it out the way. And now I can go clean my house. All right. So I'll check y'all out Friday, right? Friday, if you're interested, maybe I'll be back on here now that I got this set up. So every Friday at 6 p.m., I'm here to report in to the Moors because I always got something going on. It turns out Moors can use it too, because I was like, taking it free yourself. But here's some stuff to free yourself. I'm not doing it for you. I'm letting you know what worked for me. Here you go, right? And then, of course, this Saturday, August 9th, 11 a.m. Mountain, 2 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Central, we will be discussing Star Trek Next Generation, Season 1, Episode 4, entitled Code of Honor, looking at how it's full of Moorish culture. Those people, they know a lot about us, right? And this was made in 1987 when we were still pretty much asleep. So they weren't afraid to like show too much. They showed too much. Go check it out. I watched it free on Paramount Plus, and if just an FYI, if you have like any kind of Walmart account, they'll give it to you for free. All right, but it might be free for a trial, and it's up there. So yeah, it's a great episode. I think you want to watch it? Okay, I'm about to watch it with my daughter. So with that, I'm out, Moors. I'll hopefully see y'all Friday and Saturday and Sunday. We're going to be spending the whole weekend together, huh? Because Friday is Temple and my little meeting. Saturday is the film studies thing, and then Sunday is Sunday school. We should be spending the weekends together, to to fortify ourselves against the madness we got to deal with the other 5 days of the week, right? And with that, Islam Wars. I'll check y'all later. Peace and love, and bye-bye. Y'all, which one I want to end first? Oh, okay. I want peace to YouTube first before this thing cut off on its own. And thank y'all for being here. All right, peace. End.